Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at something pretty special, a really old account of a near-death experience, an NDE.
Yeah, this one goes way back. We're talking 1948. It's the case of Stephen, filed as NDE 9752.
And what makes it interesting is when it happened, right? Before NDEs were really a known thing.
Exactly. Before the books, before the term was common. So these early accounts, they give us a chance to see the experience maybe with less cultural baggage.
So our mission today is basically to look at this old file and pull out the core experience. What did he actually report feeling and seeing back then as a 4-year-old?
Right. Strip away the layers and focus on the raw data from 1948.
Okay, so the setup, it's kind of sad actually. Alum Rock Park, San Jose, big indoor swimming pool, the plunge, summer day, 1948.
Stephen's there with family. He's only 4. Place is busy.
And somehow he gets separated, wanders over to the deep end. Parents maybe looked away for just a second.
Yeah, the report says older kids were there. They saw him hesitating and, maybe trying to be funny or helpful. Who knows? They told him to jump in, said they'd help him.
Oh, wow. So they actually encouraged him.
Yeah, that seems to be what pushed him over the edge, literally.
So he jumps, and he's 4, can't swim, goes straight down.
Straight to the bottom. But this is where it gets really unexpected. The feeling of drowning.
Right, because you expect terror, panic, fighting for air.
None of that. He reported it felt, well, his words were warm and comfortable, like being wrapped in a soft, warm blanket.
Wow. While sinking, he's looking up, sees the legs and arms of the other kids thrashing above him.
And feels warm, comfortable, safe, even.
It's such a contradiction. His body is, in crisis, lacking oxygen.
But his conscious experience, total peace. It's a core puzzle in these things. How does that happen?
Okay, so he's sinking, feeling weirdly good. What happens next?
Well, that sensation didn't last long. It shifted immediately into something else, an out-of-body experience, an OBE. That's what he reported. Suddenly, he wasn't at the bottom of the pool anymore. He was up, way up.
Where?
In the rafters of the building, looking down at the whole scene.
And he knew he wasn't physical.
Yeah, he was very clear on that. He said he realized, I don't remember having a physical body. Just awareness, observation point.
Okay, but was his mind foggy, like a dream? Because he's, technically drowning.
That's the kicker. The report is really specific here. He felt he had more consciousness, more alertness than his normal everyday state.
More alert than a regular wide-awake 4-year-old.
Exactly. More aware, more conscious while watching from the rafters than he usually was. Think about that.
That's hard to wrap your head around. So from up there, this hyper-alert state, what did he see?
He saw the pool, the people. He described seeing the chaos of people around a boy lying near a side of pool who was me.
Whoa. So he recognized his own body down there.
Yeah.
That detached observer thing.
Classic OBE signature, yeah. But it wasn't just watching. Something else happened up there. He became aware of something, a presence behind him. He called it a warm something.
A warm something. Not a person or an angel or anything specific.
No, just a feeling, warmth, presence. And then came the voice.
A voice, spoken out loud.
No, he said it was just in my head. Not auditory, more like a direct thought transmission.
And what did it say? This is critical, right?
Absolutely critical. The message was simple, direct, unmistakable. You have to go back.
Just that. You have to go back.
Yep. But here's the conflict. His emotional state, up there in the rafters with this warm presence, pure bliss. He described incredible peace or pleasantness and incredible joy. Completely content.
So he gets this command to go back.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to leave that feeling.
Exactly. He explicitly stated, I did not want to go back. Can you imagine 4 years old feeling absolute joy and being told you have to return to drowning?
That's intense. Did he try to see who or what was talking to him, this warm presence?
He did. He tried to turn around to see the source of the voice, the source of the warmth. Couldn't do it. He reported he couldn't turn to see. It was like he was fixed in place or there was some kind of barrier.
Interesting. So communication allowed, but full perception maybe wasn't.
Seems that way. The command was clear, but seeing the commander wasn't part of the deal, apparently.
Okay, so sinking, comfort, floats up, hyper alert, sees body, warm presence, command to return, can't turn around.
Yeah.
It's a packed sequence.
Very packed. And then the return.
Was it gentle? Did he float back down?
Nope. Abrupt. Jarring, even. The report just says, next thing I woke up at a side of pool, vomiting and getting my breath back.
Bam. Back in the body. Back in the physical distress. The peace and joy gone instantly.
Replaced by the harsh reality of resuscitation, coughing up water, gasping for air.
And the memory of this.
Mm.
How did he process it afterwards, especially being so young?
That's another fascinating part. He didn't really process it in terms of life and death for decades. He just
Right.
held on to this incredibly vivid, strange memory from childhood.
For how long?
Over 40 years. It wasn't until he was in his 40s that he finally asked his mother about that day at the pool.
And she confirmed it.
She confirmed he had nearly drowned, that it was serious, he'd been pulled out, revived. That's when he realized the full context of that memory. That it wasn't just some weird incident, it was linked to, well, almost dying.
40 years carrying that memory without knowing the full story. That's incredible. The vividness must have been intense.
Which speaks volumes. But for us, looking at this account now, maybe the most important part is comparing it to what we think an NDE is, what was missing.
Right, because today there's almost a checklist, isn't there? The tunnel, the light.
Exactly. And Stephen's 1948 account, it's missing almost all of that standard stuff, which is why the early date is so key. He wasn't influenced by, popular books or TV shows about NDEs.
Okay, so let's list them. What wasn't there?
No tunnel. He didn't report passing through a tunnel.
Okay, no tunnel. What about the light? The brilliant, loving light?
Nope. No mention of any unusual light, earthly or unearthly.
Wow. Okay. What else? Life review. Seeing his past flash before him.
Also absent. No scenes from his past, no glimpse of the future either.
And crucially, no beings, no deceased relatives, no religious figures.
Nothing like that. No angels, no spirits. He didn't see Jesus or God or anyone he recognized. Just that undefined, warm something behind him.
Which means no big cosmic download.
Zero. No feeling of suddenly understanding everything or becoming one with the universe. No information about the meaning of life, why we're here, is there a God, what happens after death. None of that.
Despite the very direct command to return.
Right. The command was functional, not informational. Go back. Not, here's the secret of existence, now go back.
So it's like an NDE stripped bare, down to the essentials.
You could say that. Elevated consciousness, observation, a presence, and a directive. That's
Right.
it. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If this is potentially closer to the core phenomenon before cultural narratives got layered on top.
And what is the core phenomenon? If it's not necessarily about tunnels and lights and cosmic wisdom.
That's the million-dollar question this file raises. And it wasn't tied to his existing beliefs either.
How so?
Well, he stated the experience was entirely not consistent with anything he believed or knew as a 4-year-old. He had no concept of NDEs.
Yet his own conclusion about it, decades later.
Unshakable. He simply said the experience was and remains definitely real.
Despite it not fitting any mold, religious or otherwise.
Yeah.
Just real. That conviction is powerful.
It is. It didn't give him answers about the universe, but it gave him certainty about the reality of that specific, unusual state of consciousness he entered when his body was failing.
So summing up this 1948 case, near drowning, unexpected comfort, pop out of body, hyper alertness in the rafters, sees his body, feels a warm presence, gets a clear command to return from an unseen source, doesn't want to go, can't see the source, slams back into his body.
And crucially, none of the commonly reported spiritual elements like tunnels, lights, or life reviews.
And the long-term effects. Did it drastically change his life path?
Interestingly, he reported only slight changes. It wasn't this massive overnight transformation in his values or personality, which you sometimes hear about.
But the memory itself.
Unforgettable, untouchable. He said nothing else in his entire life, no dream, no drug, no intense emotion ever came close to replicating the feeling or the clarity of that experience.
Okay, that's the core of it for you, listening. This really old account. A kid almost dies, has an experience where he feels more conscious than normal, totally peaceful, gets a direct order to live.
It gets zero spiritual intel, no answers, no cosmic truths revealed, just the command and the memory of that state.
So if you take away all the stuff we expect to hear, the tunnels, the lights, the meetings with divine beings, what are you left with?
What does an experience like this suggest about what NDEs might be, at their absolute root, before we interpret them through our own cultural or religious lenses?
What part of Stephen's 1948 story stands out most to you? The strange comfort, the weirdly heightened alertness, the unseen presence, or maybe the complete lack of answers? Something to think about.
Thank you for listening to Borrowed Time NDE Podcasts. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss a moment of inspiration. Until next time, wishing you an extraordinary and truly wonderful time on your journey through life.